Hey everyone, Decap13 here. Welcome back to some more Let's Play Fate Hollow Ataraxia. Alright, so right now our main goal is just making it to the 4th day, so we can go talk to Ilya. I thought there's something new at the bridge. Let's check that out. What's going on over here? Humming to myself, I make my way towards the park. My early afternoon patrol failed to turn up anything, but I can't say I'm dissatisfied with that. With weather as good as this, I can't help but be in a pleasant mood. It's such a nice day that people are lounging about instead of hurrying to wherever they're going.
何も起きないけど、これはこれで。
Could be considered a little slice of happiness, however cheaply bought. A day like this is best spent in leisure, basking in one's good fortune in the company of strangers. Yeah, in the embrace of such a gentle afternoon, not anything could disturb me. Not even if a duo like these two should come along, for example. God save me if these two should show up, though. Hang on, what was that just now? Is that Karen? As I tremble at the sight of my terribly accurate amateur prophecy, I feel something coil around my leg.
いや、嫌だって。嫌なんだってば、本当。
I fervently cross myself, pleading for salvation from imminent reality. In an instant, Emiyashiro is reeled in like a common fish while the general public goes about its own business. Why are you fishing for him? I'm unceremoniously dragged through the tiled ground. As the catch, my body, rolls to a stop, the red cloth disappears without a trace, evidence destroyed, and the prime suspect saunters up as if everything were perfectly normal. Why do I feel like the huntress is about to skin her prey?
ごきげんよう。奇遇ですね、エミヤシロ。
You can't say what a coincidence after you basically just kidnapped him. I brush the dust off my body as I stand up. Of course, I give her my meanest evil eye. My glare does its best to convey, what the hell was that? You better have a damned good reason for doing that or else you're in for a beatdown.
どこか具合が悪いのですか？
This
見
woman.
たところあまり外傷はないようですが。
Her composure is ironclad. My glare is too low level to even deal a single hit point of damage.
そうだった。こいつは自分の失敗じゃないと何の負い目も感じないやつだった。
That is, there's no problem since she got exactly what she wanted. She would only ever admit to a personal failure, meaning that she probably sees nothing wrong with premeditated assault and kidnapping.
あのさ、あんたこういうことをする人だったっけ？
普段はしませんが、今回はあなたの要望でしたので。
What do you mean at my request?
時間が空いているのなら、このように話しかけろと。
At that, I tilt my head in confusion.
何？俺自分でこういう風にしてくれって言ったっけ？
確かに言いました。こう、得意の正外譜でバシューッと捕まえろと。
Pretty sure those words were never said. I don't remember saying that, but the way she puts it makes it sound like I'm just reaping what I sow.
わかった。自覚はないけど、それはこっちの間違いだ。
そうですね。私もこのような流れで正常な会話が行えるのか不安ではあったのです。
That's a shame. She has the right of things for once. But I wish she would take a lesson from this moment and apply that common sense to her future decisions.
とにかく、こんにちは、カレン。こんなところで会うなんて珍しいな。
はい。私もこの時間帯にあなたと話せるとは思いませんでした。
ああ、そういえばそんなこと言ってたっけ？確か日中は教会にしかいられないとか。今は大丈夫なのか？
何事も例外はありますから、無理をすれば少しだけ街に出ることができます。
そっか。じゃあ頑張ればうちに遊びに来ることもできる？
それはやはり厳しいようです。それに彼女たちの誰とも私は相性が悪いですから。
そうなのか？そうは見えないけどな。
Honestly, I think she's kind of like Tosaka. Though I don't have a real explanation for that opinion.
まあ気が向いたら顔を出してくれ。お茶でよければ歓迎するから。で手段はとんでもなかったけど呼び止めたってことは話があるんだよな。一体何の話なんだカレン。
Did that part surprise her?
どうした？そのやっぱり教会の外だと具合が悪くなるのか？
いえ、そういうわけではないのですが、あなたがいつもより紳士的なので勝手が違うだけです。
I'm pretty sure we haven't spoken enough for her to say that. Ah, well. Maybe I've already heard her performance many times.
悪い。こうして話すのって初めてだったっけ？
ええ、この場所でこうして話すのは初めてです。お互い名前を知っているのですから何度かお会いしているのでしょう。どうぞ私の体のことは気になさらず結構です。
そっか、体は何ともないのか。それじゃあ俺を呼び止めた要件だけど。
要件というほどのことでもありません。話すべきこともありませんから見かけても通り過ぎるべきだったのですが、あなたが幸福そうだったのでつい。
は？
What was that? I just felt a seriously cold chill run down my spine.
幸福そうだったからつい。
How did that make her feel?
つい刺激心が刺激されてしまいました。
Oh boy.
さしたる理由もなく目に見えて幸福そうでしたので現状を知らせてあげたくなったのです。人生とは楽なものではなく常に苦しみもだえ自虐に押しつぶされるもの。その見せかけの幸福は私の一息でたやすく消し去ってしまうものだと。
Thanks, Karen.
それは俺が気に食わないってことだろうか？
いいえ、あなたが憎いわけではありません。私はただ幸福そうな人を見ると皮を剥がしてみたくなるのです。そうですね、以前から兆候はあったのですがこの町に来てから本格化したような。もしかするとこれは私の趣味なのでしょうか？
Even listening to this is disturbing. It's confusing to hear, but her intentions seem perfectly clear to me.
なるほど、最悪だな。
同感です。全く誰に似たのだか。
Yeah, I wonder. We nod in unison. It's a kind of sympathy, as if we've just discovered we have a common enemy.
なのだができれば俺のささやかな幸せは見逃してほしい。せめて短い余暇の間ぐらい。
そう言われては無理強いはできません。見たところすぐに冷めてしまいそうなものですし私が水をかけるまでもないでしょう。
Karen abruptly turns away with displeasure. How should I put it? She looks like a child that's had her favorite toy taken away.
と一つ聞き忘れていました。この辺りで怪しい二人組を見かけませんでしたか？大きいのと小さいの。目につく風貌なので詳しい特徴は言うまでもないのですが。
Interesting question.
怪しい二人組？いや見かけてないけど。
そうですか。この辺りだと感じたのですが移動したのかもしれませんね。
Oh wait, I know who she's looking for.
私の目から逃れようなんて浅ましい使い魔たち。
The nun lets out an oddly warm chuckle. Sister, if there's anyone suspicious around, it's you.
さようならレミヤシロ。まだ縁があるのなら教会で会いましょう。
I watch her leave, her footsteps fading into the distance. The girl, robed in her religious habit, left the park behind. Not as a phantom, but as a real human being. What are these walks to the church? matter how often I come here, the church is always the same. There's nothing here. Let's go elsewhere. Hopefully I'll have a definite objective the next time I'm here. Okay, so those are just nothing. Oh, so I'm at the big bridge again. In the middle of the bridge, something strange catches my eye. I stop and stare, but can't possibly understand what their intention is.
何やってんだあいつ。
If I leave it alone, it'll come back to bite me later. As a friend, I should at least give a word of caution.
ありゃ見るからに不審なのが雲みたいによじ登ってくるかと思えばエミヤさんちのシロくんじゃない。
You know, hey, like servant, like master.
どうしたのこんなところにやってきて。ここ車道だから危ないわよ。あ、それともダイブ？
Yeah, no fucking shit, it's dangerous. What are you doing here? Suddenly, I feel drained. For her to seriously worry I'm going to jump off, I just don't get her thought process.
あのな遠坂、友人の身を案じてやってきた人間にその反応はないんじゃないのか。あと危ないのはそっちの方だ。
え、嘘？さっきの見てたのエミヤくん。じゃあ見えちゃった？ずっと見てた？バッチリ見てたのね、こっちくしょー。
Are you stupid or something? You're standing in the middle of the road!
Huh?
0.2 seconds after I tilted my head in confusion at Tosaka's eccentric behavior, a single punch as if the counterattack made explosive contact with the side of my head.
すみません、誤解でした。
Hell of a misunderstanding. Sorry, she lowers her arms to her sides with a slight bow. In addition to her study of Chinese martial arts, it seems like Tosaka has already taken up karate too.
いや、すごいぞ遠坂。全身を使い切った理想的な右フックだった。頬骨にひび入ってるかもしんない。
I don't say it, but I tell her through the look in my eyes that her feelings alone aren't enough to earn my forgiveness.
だからごめんってば。今のは全面的に私が悪かったです。東西南北、上から下まで不注意でした。
It's unusual to hear such an earnest apology from Tosaka. Troubling people is like a hobby for this red devil, but at the moment when one of her careless mistakes ends up making trouble for someone, she becomes unexpectedly meek. At times like these, Tosaka tends to do whatever she pleases, but unfortunately the place she chose is a two-lane roadway with a 60km/h speed limit, where even the slightest negligence can get you run over.
まあ今後はもうちょい行動を遅めるように。考え即殴るではあなたの今後が心配です。
Not so much for her future as those of the innocent people in her near vicinity.
失礼ね。普段はもっと冷静よ。今のだって見てたのがシロじゃなかったらストップかかったわ。
Oh, but only because it's Shiro.
何？遠坂の中じゃ俺は無条件で有罪扱いなのか？
え？ああ、そうじゃなくて他の人だったら慌てなかったというか、そんなに恥ずかしくなかったというか、ああ、いや、誰であろうと有罪なのは確かなんだけど、
いまいち要領を得ないな。つまりさっきの誤解においては俺だけ罪が重いと。
そうよ。そうだってシロ目いいじゃない。
So that's it. At this point, even I can understand what's going on. After eating that devastating punch, I explained that I had just gotten here and she had entered self-loathing mode. After that, she refused to say anything but don't ask me why, but...
わからんな。なんで鉄骨の上になんて登ってたんだ？そんなに普通の車道は退屈か？
Bullseye, huh? Apparently, before I arrived, Tosaka had been elegantly observing the city below from on top that steel arch.
いつになく鋭いじゃない、エミヤ君。やっぱり初めから見てた？
初めから見てたならすぐに止めてる。いくら遠坂でもあそこを登っていくのは無茶だ。サーカスじゃあるまいし、落ちたらシャレじゃ済まないぞ。まったく あんまり心配させないでくれ。
Idiot. I hit her head with a light chop. Tosaka took my chop without complaint. Well, what can I say? It's impolite to say this, but a meek Tosaka isn't bad either.
何のつもりかは知らないけど、次は普通に歩いてくれ。それでさっきの右フックは帳消しにしよ
そうね。約束はできないけど、ここぞという時以外は控えとく。ま、下調べはもう十分だしね。
Saying I can't make any promises is just like her. At the very least, it means there's a possibility of her climbing that arch once more.
う。なあ、もしかして遠坂、俺が話した怪物たちを調べてるのか？
ちょっと、どうしたのよ一体。今日に限ってえらく勘がいいじゃない。鉄骨の上にいたのはともかく、なんでそれが使い魔たちとつながるのよ。
いや、なんていうか、それは。
Damn. I met someone here before doing exactly the same thing as Tosaka, but I'm not sure if I should tell her that.
それは？
それは、アーチャーのやつが似たようなことをやってたから。
I knew she'd react like this. The relationship between Tosaka and Archer isn't really something you can easily explain. Even though their contract has been called off, there's no sign that either of them has cancelled it. So like now, they show interest in the same things while pretending not to notice each other, insisting it's a relationship of give and take.
挨拶にすら来ないと思ったら、またつまらないおせっかいを焼いてるわけね。それで、あいつはなんて言ってたの？エミヤ君。
何って、そうだな。具体的には何も。あの怪物たちを敵視しているくせに、あれは倒してもキリがないとか、無害だから放っておけとか。
他にはエミヤ君の言う怪物たちの大元が何であるか知ってる素振りだった？
それはないと思う。怪物たちの目的が何であるか知りたいとか、そんな段階だった。
は？ここを下調べしてるのにまだそんなことに気づいてないの？そいつらの目的なんて一つだけじゃない。
待った、驚くのはこっちの方だ。遠坂はあの怪物たちの目的がわかるのか？
ええ、理由はわからないけど目的なら明白じゃない。エミヤ君、あなたから聞いた話じゃ、その怪物たちはあなたしか殺していないんでしょ？
まあそれはそうだけど。
なら話は簡単よ。4日目の夜にだけ現れて、4日間の異常を感じ取ってるエミヤ君だけを狙う怪物。そいつらはね、あなたにクリアさせないために集まってきてるのよ。
For some reason, I felt a chill go down my spine. Just as she says, those monsters have only been killing me. This shouldn't be surprising at all. But to stop you from clearing it, something about that phrasing was nauseatingly repulsive.
もっとも、だから何って感じだけど、その怪物を見たいんだけど、いくら探しても見つからないし。あーちゃんのやつ、どうやって見つけたのかしらね。
Archer had taken up position on the roof of the Shinto Center building and sniped at the monsters trying to invade. Without the great field of vision from that building's roof and Archer's hawk eyes, the discovery would have been difficult.
それで、他には何か言ってた？一人じゃもう無理とか、そろそろ誰かの手を借りに行くとか、そういうの。
そういうのはなかったな。あ、口にはしないけど、竜道寺を睨んでたっけ？
竜道寺？そっか。使い魔たちが溢れ出るのはそっちの方角なわけね。
I remembered Issei's ghost story. The Kageyama Entrail Graveyard. The mountain used to abandon old women to die where not even the dead are buried. What is left is a mountain of discarded meat. Truly, it is a suitable graveyard for these creatures.
オッケー。大体の状況は飲み込めたわ。怪物が見つけられないのは痛いけど、ま、最後の最後には目の当たりにするだろうし。
Tosaka stretches lazily, as if there's no point, as if to say there's no point investigating here anymore.
私は帰るけど、エミヤ君はどうするの？ 一緒に帰る？
いや、まだ町に用事がある。ここで別れよ
さ、じゃあまた後で。あんまり寄り道しないで帰ってくるのよ。
Tosaka heads to the footbridge. Jumping over there is no problem with her athletic prowess, but she really should pick clothes better suited for these kind of stunts. Well, leaving that aside.
う。おい、アーチャーのことはいいのか？
別にいいわよ。あいつが何していようと私には関係ないし。エミヤ君もあいつに期待なんかしちゃダメよ。思わせぶりな行動ばっかりで、いざって時は何もしないやつなんだから。
じゃあ遠坂には期待していいのか？
もちろん。乗りかかった船だもの。あなたが最後までたどり着くのなら、その時はできる限り力を貸すわ。
Without hesitation, Tosaka jumps over to the footbridge and lands with a soft thump. This is different than the time with Archer. Leaving behind a feeling of refreshment, the Red Magus gracefully exits the stage. Okay. Nothing here. So I guess let's do the other. Go for a walk. Saber. No matter how often I come here, the church is always the same. Saber hasn't noticed anything either. There's nothing here. Let's go elsewhere. Hopefully I'll have a definite objective the next time I'm here. Okay. So we need to go to Ilia's. Talk to her. Okay. Holy Grail. This will be the last piece upon the ground. Avengers said to go to the Heaven's Cup. Einsburn's secret artifact, the third sorcery, or Heaven's Feel. The girl of winter who bears their name should have known all the tricks behind this from the start. Passing through the long hallway, I exit into the courtyard. The sky above the castle is always cloudy. No matter what kind of grail it is, perhaps it simply couldn't invade this castle, owned by the true Holy Grail.
Ilias Field.
I call out to her. Out of unease and resignation, I'm lacking emotion now. There's no reply. I lift up my foot to walk a little closer.
大丈夫。聞こえてるから、そこにいて。こんにちは、シロ。わざわざ会いに来てくれたの？
My foot stops. Seems like this will end pretty quickly.
ああ、野暮用があって会いに来た。少し話を聞きたいんだが。
シロから誘いに来るなんて珍しいね。それでどんな話かしら。できれば明るい話にしてほしいけど。
Oh.
せっかくのパーティーなんだもの。どうせなら楽しまなくっちゃもったいないでしょ。
それは同感。で、やっぱり知ってたんだ、イリアは。
なんとなくね。けどシローが知ったらやめちゃうだろうから、できるだけここには来てほしくなかったの。私も続けられるのならいつまでも続けていたいから。
So that's why she didn't want me to do anything in this castle. That interference was Ilya's form of resistance.
いや、その割には趣味に走りすぎてたような。
だって最後にはやってきちゃうんだもの。なら全部まとめて楽しくやろうかなって決めたんだ。
Everything's in order, huh? Even though she had known it all from the beginning, this girl still played along. She waited in this castle without bringing down or blaming the real culprit.
イリア、天の杯ってのは何なんだ？それが聖杯戦争を再現してる聖杯なんだな。
せっかちね。 いきなり本題。けどまあ今まで散らされたんだものね。行儀の悪さは多めに見てあげる。いい？冬季の聖杯戦争のご褒美だった聖杯は聖杯の名を借りた魔力の渦でしかなかった。
Right.
その有り余る力で持ち主の願いを抗議的に見て叶えるだけ。けど今回の聖杯は違うわ。
What? This new one is like an actual physical grail?
大した力はないくせに自分のできる範囲で持ち主の願いを叶えようとする。
Huh.
ちっちゃいけど本物の聖杯なの。もう言うまでもないことだけど、その正体はサーバント。
It's a servant.
3回目の聖杯戦争で召喚されて聖杯に取り込まれて聖杯の力で人間の願いを叶える悪魔に成長した誰かさんなのでした。
So Heaven's Cup is on Romanyu. Demon that grants people's wishes is a misnomer. To be precise, he grew into a demon that people wished for.
けどその悪魔の名前は口にしない。天の杯というのはその悪魔の契約書みたいなものなんでしょうね。そこは始まりの地点。悪魔が大事にしている契約者がいる場所じゃないかしら。
そこに聖杯があるってことか。それはどこだ？
この町で一番高いところ。
Highest
5
point
回
in
目
the
の聖
city.
杯戦争にいなかった人はそこから地上に落ちてくるのね。
Huh.
何もかも逆さまなの。ヘブンズフィールじゃなくてヘブンズフォールなんだから。
The highest point in the city. That's not the central building, but rather...
無茶な話だ。どうすれば行けるんだよ、あんなところに。
ああ、そっか。普通は行けないよね、あんな場所。仕方ないか。ねえ、シローはこの聖杯戦争をどう思ってる？
どうも何も。これは作り物だ。偽りの4日間だろ。
じゃあ4日間が過ぎたらみんな消えてしまう？
あ、いや、それは。
It's not that everyone disappears. Only the events of these 4 days disappear. They're just illusions that took place in a fake world. No memory nor trace remains.
ええ、その通りよ。作り物の世界って言ったけど本当は違うの。舞台は偽物でもそこにいる人はみんな本物なんだもの。例えばリンね。役どころが変わったところで何をしようとリンはリンであることに違いはない。この世界にいる作り物、その人はこの町にいる誰かの殻をかぶってこの世界で聖杯戦争を再現している。契約者の望む通り聖杯戦争を続けるために自分の知らなかった5回目の戦いを体験しているのね。
Come to think of it. So that's why the Earth and the Heaven's Cup don't overlap. Using the participants of the 5th War, she continues to fight using the script of the 3rd. But sometimes the faker screws up, and the 3rd and the 5th become connected. The 2 wars aren't linked. Her war and ours were 2 different things from the beginning.
4日間が終わったらみんな元に戻るわ。あるべきものはあるべき形に帰る。この4日間そのものがなかったことになるでしょうね。けどその人だけは4日間と一緒に消えてしまう。5日目に待つ現実にはいけないの。剥離された名前と同じように世界の記憶にすら残らない。
That's right. After all, they were never in this town to begin with.
けどさ、偽物ってことは元になった本物がいるだろう。その本物はどうなるんだ？
偽物と入れ替わるわ。何事もなかったようにね。
Is that so? So when the fake disappears and the impurity is removed, the real one remains.
なるほど。けど、なんだ。おかしな言い回しなんだが、その偽物はやっぱり偽物なんだろうか。どんなに本物そっくりでも、本物でない限り そいつの行動は。
その人は偽物だけど紛れもない本物なの。複製とか同一存在でもない。その人はこの4日間だけ本物になっただけなんだから。
I don't really understand. It's not the theory I don't understand, but why this girl is smiling at me like this. Just from that smile,
そっか。じゃあその行動は自然なものだったんだ。
Having resigned myself until now, I sigh with relief.
ええ、殻をかぶったって言ったけど、その人はもともと形のない無なの。無は何者にもなれないし、何かを真似ることもできない。だからその人が誰かの体で形を得るとしてもどうしようもないほど無のままなのよ。誰かに憑依、いえ同化したとしても持ち主に何の影響も与えられない。
So even if he becomes someone, the host's actions are still the host's actions. He has no control or sway over them.
だからその人は偽物だけど、その行動は紛れもない本物だった。
It all makes sense now. It may have been fake, but everything that happened there was real. But how do I put this?
けどそいつには自分の意志があるみたいなんだけど。
それは無の意志じゃないわ。意志のある形に同化したことで、それが自分の意志なんだと錯覚しているだけなのよ。
I understand now. To put it figuratively, if he disguises himself as a kind-hearted person, all he can do is think like one. The servant called Avenger isn't something split off from all the evil in the world. That personality is nothing more than a fabrication. Created using the person possessed by the nothing as a sample.
じゃあそいつは。
He wasn't even a fake in the first place. He simply didn't exist.
いいえ、私が認めてあげる。あなたはあなたよ、アンリマユ。
Yep.
あなたはすぐに忘れてしまうだろうけど、私は最後まで覚えているわ。
There it is.
あなたが自分の意志でこの願いを終わらせようとしたことを。
Maybe this is karma. A descendant of the ones who summoned me is releasing and helping me.
ここはいずれ全ての結末が出揃ってしまう世界。どんなに作り込んだ箱庭だろうと、いつかは全てを知ってしまう。破綻は見えている。続けたいのなら行動してはいけない。必要最低限のシーンだけ繰り返して未知の出来事を残しておかないと冷めてしまう。未来があるということ、それ自体がこの世界を動かす原動力だったから。でもあなたたちにはそれはできなかった。
That's right. The two of us couldn't do that. The real one who sought a better outcome due to his natural warped personality. The fake one who wanted to see new things just because he found it fun. That is the main character in this miniature garden.
私にしてあげられるのはこれくらい。今まで観測者に過ぎなかったあなたがこれで人に認識してもらえたわ。あとは簡単。あなたが忘れても私が覚えているんだもの。あなたはあなたとしてあの月に登れるわ。
ようやくここに至ったか。
It's as Iliasfeel says. I don't have any means by which to get to the moon. The only ones who can reach the Holy Grail are Avenger's real form, which was there from the beginning, and Bazette, who formed a contract with him. I finished what had to be done. I'll have to part with Ilya before my fever returns.
楽しかった？
ああ、ありがとう、イリア。
Not for what she did now, but for enjoying herself for my sake, even as she knew everything.
どういたしまして。奇跡のバーゲンセールだもの。これくらいやらなくっちゃ損だと思うわ。
There's no lie in her smiling face. The joy in it is overshadowed by how dazzling it is.
ねえ、もうすぐ終わりなの？
I avert my eyes from Ilya.
そうだ。これでまた一つ輝きを失った。
Suddenly I'm wrapped in something warm. When I realize it's someone's body,
強情なんだから。一度くらい泣いていいんだよ。
the feelings I had frozen with so much effort are about to melt.
なんでさ、泣くようなことは一つもないだろ。日常は続いていく。何も失われるものはない。
It's only a matter of something that didn't exist in the first place returning to its state of non-existence. A return to the cosmic order. I leave the courtyard. For a brief moment, I get just a little dizzy, and my memory of the events just moments ago becomes fuzzy and disordered.
ありがとう。また遊びに来てね、シロー。
Rather than waving at me, Ilya gives me a gentle farewell instead. Still perplexed at my sudden memory loss, I wave to her and say goodbye. I'm unclear as to what we talked about, but our farewell is vivid. I mean, she has such a lovely smile on her face. Whatever happened in this short time, I'm sure it must have been something that made Ilya very happy. So that is the truth of things. The 4 nights come to an end. Free action at night, street patrol, the last choice. I guess it's time to end this. Yeah, that's the truth. The fake is, well, the quote-unquote fake is Shiro. Onra Mayu is inside of him. Although, as Ilya explained, it's not as if Shiro is fake. It's kind of weird. But I will say, it is not much of a surprise, especially considering how some earlier scenes played out. I mean, especially the scenes with Karen. It makes it pretty obvious. It's a really cool twist, though. I like it. Alright. Well. To the Black Holy Grail. Let's go. The curtains fall. The buzzer signaling the end of the performance sounds, and the whole residence is sinking into a deep darkness. Into a sleep so deep, no one would revive and awaken before the 5th day. Without anyone to bid farewell to, nor any luggage to bring home, I depart, leaving the many doorways behind me, as I always have. The date will change soon. On the night of the 4th day, the Black Moon comes to do away with me, the only survivor. That's the foundation I'm going to destroy. I continue on, stifling the screams. This is the tower that I will reach the hollow sky from. Since I already know what my true identity is, the path should appear here. The date changes. The atmosphere goes stagnant, time becomes vague, and even my body itself starts to undergo a strange transformation. My chest is hot. I don't know if it's because of my quickening breaths, but this one heartbeat is no longer enough. Leaving the screams behind, I continue. Just as I thought, this is the bottom of the world. From the point where it extends a black thread. Or where it begins, extends a black thread. Within the slumbering town, red lamps flicker to light. Mixed with the fierce wind are the voices I am already accustomed to hearing. The voices of resentment that used to be a part of me. A sound causes me to glance downward. Oh, it's here. A sea god rises from the mountain of wreckage. Horrific feelings of resentment and envy. Those are being emitted from what used to be a part of me. run to the stairs. I have to hurry before they catch me. I have to run faster, run faster. What is it that you think running is going to accomplish? Running. I need to put an end to this wish. My vision begins to fade. It wasn't my vision that was fading. Rather, it was the function of sight that was returning to its original non-existence. That scream inside of me comes to plug up my ears as I crawl up the stairs. So far. Far enough away that I doubt I'll ever reach it. Far enough away that I don't even have the will to reach it. They will catch me soon. Covering the tower and burying the steps, a swarm of corpses. Gradually, I realize that a choral song has begun to find its way from my lips. Hate, 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 hate. The black moon revolves, and a new me arrives. I'm so envious. I failed, I failed, I failed. In that case, you too fall and become a monster. Okay, so I guess that's not enough. The one ruling over the bridge, the one guided by the light. The truth about the guards, the last farewell to the guides. I'm curious. Oh, we only have one flag left. Okay. Guess we'll see what we can find. Oh. Okay, I guess one more talk with Karen. The last time. Her performance doesn't falter for even a moment. The performer, as if welcoming her visitor, smiles for a brief instant. I sit down on the dilapidated pew. In the end, so as to not sink into this kindness, I shut my eyelids. Endless days spent deciding who to hate. The boundless hatred, however, was unable to decisively pick out anyone. That is the fate of the artificially formulated malice. Unable to become the demon they had hoped for, it reflects the image of humans like a mirror. All the evil in the world. What a joke. That's just another name for humanity. Look at the mirror you've created. All of our sins are fabricated by people. Rejoice, child of man. You can reproduce any evil. The malice is not what frightens us. What we continue to fear is the weakness of ourselves who enshrined it. Feeling joy in throwing rocks. Numbing the feelings, paralyzing morality, and becoming something ugly. In this cruel world, we cannot live without hate. We will remain uncured for all eternity. Looking into ourselves, we see a pack of repulsive carnivores. Our teeth bite and shred anything that comes in, as if no different from a tank of monsters. If anybody looked into the depths of themselves, they would vomit at the filthiness of living. And yet, who could deny that? Creatures simply of filth, defying their original purpose by continuing to suffer. A silent anguish. A contradictory contrivance of possessing both good and evil. The grating of gears becomes sparks that bloom and die. A small last hope, unreliable though it may be, that continues turning in the dark night. In this nothingness, to me, it was dazzling. What a misunderstanding. A self-righteous utopia. What's ugly is simply ugly. The only beings who manage to find beauty in ugliness are humans. And even that sentiment is washed away in the blink of an eye. But that's enough for me. If the radiance only lasts a moment, that is enough. In the midst of this eternally existing evil, if I could embrace emotion, even if it was false, then that light was real. That's right. Since antiquity, people have thought the concept of the stars is something they can depend on. I too reach out my hand for all eternity and continue to gaze at that eternally elusive moment. That's why, at the very least, while I'm still human, I'd like to do something human. I didn't leave anything. In this false void in which I could save nobody, I wish for some sort of meaning. I felt that it was beautiful. That's right. You are correct, Emiya Shiro. Even if the sinfulness of your mistakes and sentimentality sears my eyes, I too wanted to yearn for something that I felt was beautiful just as you do. I just wanted to try yearning for it. There is a curtain of stars in the sky. The long musical performance ends and a dry sound rings throughout the ruins. Crack, crack, crack. It isn't the sound of a fire crackling. The dry sound is coming from my hands. In short, I'm clapping for some reason. And while I clap, the woman before me stands up. Instead of the usual sour look on her face,
よかった。ご清聴感謝します。
for the first time she puts on a feminine smile. One meant to bid farewell, no doubt. Seriously? She's always been standing there like she wanted something, and yet something so trivial was enough? So even a whim like this can make people smile, huh? I'm beat. Guess the one who needed the ability to read the mood was me all along.
よう今日のは随分と長かったな。もうすっかり夜だけど体は大丈夫か？
はい。今はあなたの心が穏やかですから。距離を保っていれば問題はありません。
I like that it's now just Avenger's voice.
そうじゃねえよ。何時間もペダル踏んでたんだ。単純に疲れてないかって話。
はい。体の疲れはありません。お望みでしたら一日中でも続けられますが。
へえ、そりゃすごい。すごいけど遠慮しとく。さすがにそこまで暇じゃない。
The few-hour-long performance left me immersed in my juvenile sentimentality. If I listened to this for 24 hours straight, I would surely regress to childhood.
しかし、なんだな。ものの見事に廃墟だな、ここ。
I look around the chapel. It's the only run-down place in the brilliant, prosperous city of Fuyuge. Among the all-inclusive cast, there's but a single person missing. Kotomine Kirei. He's the only one not included in this reproduction. Because in the Fifth Holy Grail War, that man surviving until the end, was not a possibility included in any of the outcomes. You know, that is true. Kirei does die in every single path of Stay Night. That is true. Yeah, because what, he's killed by Shiro in 2 paths, and then he's killed by Lancer on another one. Yeah, wow. So I guess that does explain why Kirei is not around. Because him surviving until the end is an impossibility. On surviving the 4th war, he was promised certain death in the 5th one. The girl before me took advantage of that to intervene in the reproduction. Kotomine isn't here, but the role of Holy Grail War Supervisor remains. That is how Karen Hortensia slipped into the vacant spot.
なあ、本当の4日間じゃないな。現実の方でも教会はこうなのか？
ここまで荒れ果ててはいませんでした。今頃は私が清掃をしていると思います。
なるほど。じゃあここにいるあんたは何だ？てっきり本人がやってきてるのかと思ったんだが。
私は本来いないものですから、実体として介入はできません。この閉じた庭にカレン・オルテンシアという要員を送り込んだだけです。4日間だけの限定存在ですが、その代わりにループやリトライの必要もなくこちらに存在できる。同時に4日間が終わればこの私は消え去ります。
サーバントみたいなもんか。紛れもなく本物だけど、召喚が終われば記憶の受け継ぎもできず消え去っちゃう？
そうですね。ここであなたと何を話そうと、外の私には関わりのないことです。エミやシロウや遠坂凛といった元から存在する方たちには夢や騎士官として記憶は残りますが、
それって死ぬってことだよな。怖くないのか？
あなたは夢を見ているとき目覚めることに抵抗を感じますか？
ないけど。そっか、現実感は希薄なんだ。そりゃあ、あらゆる時間にいればわけもわからなくなるか。ある意味ゴーストだもんな、あんた。
私は幻ではありません。お互い触れることはできませんが、私は実体です。あなただってそれは知っているでしょ。もう何度あなたは私の爪に貫かれたか。
そうか、そういえばそういう関係だったっけ。ってことは今かなりきつくないか？自分で言うのもなんだが、随分曖昧になってる。あんたには我慢できないと思うんだが。
今は特別に我慢をしていますから、私のことは気にしないでください。耐えるのは慣れていますし、あなたは弱っていますから、なんとか抑えきれます。
Jeez, this relationship sure is a pain. Even though she appeared as a guide, she has a handicap that makes her unable to get close to the person she's guiding. I can't get close towards anyone but enemy Ashiro. And even that line has become rather blurred since I started coming to this church for no reason whatsoever. And then silence. Somehow my primal instincts tell me that things will become real bad if I keep talking. She doesn't seem to care. Up until now, it's been her who hated silence. Nevertheless, I'm the one who can't stand the silence today.
あのさ、オルテンシアってどんな意味なんだ？
I asked all of a sudden. I couldn't care less about the answer, by the way.
私の国の言葉でアジサイの花を意味しますが。
I get a questioning gaze in return. I don't really have anything to comment on.
いい名前じゃないか。
I say something I don't really think.
はい。母の顔は覚えていませんが、この名前は気に入っています。カレンという名も父の国の言葉からもらったものだとか。
I wish I hadn't asked. I was being sarcastic. Hydrangea flower. I meant that the image of snails oozily gathering underneath the leaves really suited her. Nevertheless, she smiled, saying it was beautiful. Enough. There's nothing left for me to say. There's nothing that I want to say. I didn't come here wanting to do something. I must be off. Any more than this and I'll be leaving more than I should behind. I stand up. I turn my back as if tearing myself away from her.
なあ、俺はそろそろここには来なくなるけど。
There's no need to say it. No need to ask. So why?
あんたはこれからもそうやって生きていくのか？
Why am I curious about something I already know the answer to?
ええ。私はこれ以外の道を知りません。これが私の運命なら、その定めに従うまでです。
Hydrangea flower. A beautiful song of silver, an early dawn prayer battered countless times by rain.
笑わせるな。何？生贄みたいな人生でもいいんだ。
辛いですが意味のある犠牲です。自分だけがという理不尽に嘆くこともない。霊障に苦しむ人が私の体で救われるのですから。
Only those other people will be saved by that. It won't be just the anguish of cutting open flesh. The organs destroyed from the inside out will become altogether useless. Those dull golden eyes, along with her right thigh which is incapable of even running. Even her pliant fingertips, still able to play a prayer. Sooner or later they will all cease to function ever again. And yet she says she's fine with that. Accepting it all just like some idiot I know of.
くそ。だから言わなきゃよかったんだ。
Man, right at the very end she wound up making me realize it. I've seen this before. This woman has no color of her own, like a white flower. I feel like a bee that's just found a blossom. My lips part on impulse. My voice escapes automatically.
腹が減った。
はい？今、なんと？
唐突だけど腹が減った。恵んでよ、シスター。
あなたは何を？
Planning to do, or something cute along those lines. Not like it even needs saying at this point.
何って。今からあんたを食おうと思う。
It's quite simple, really. I'm hungry, so I want nourishment, magical energy. The woman correctly grasps that this is what I'm trying to say. I know exactly how she's going to answer, even if I wish I didn't. The white flower always lets yourself get dyed some other color.
なぜ？以前は望んでいないと言いました。
さあな。腹が減ったから食う。食欲ってのはそういうもんだ。俺は単に。
I've just become unable to resist something any longer. So I'm going to eat this woman.
正気ですか？そういう意図で私に触れるとどのような結果になるか分かっているはずですが。
Of course I'm aware. If I lay a finger on the woman out of hunger, she'll react to my position and I'll be injured. I might be able to feed on her magical energy, but I'll take on a ton of damage at the same time. That's the logic of it. That's the rule. Normally I'd probably die. What's more, the disguise I went to all this trouble to keep up for so long would be torn off, leaving only hideous remains. Do you really believe I'm worth that much? That's what the woman is saying. That's what the flower is saying. Deliberately avoiding the question and with my back still turned.
腹減って死にそうなんだよ。細かいことはどうでもいい。求められれば何人も拒まずなんだろ、シスター。
I smile nastily as I speak, another meaning hidden behind my words. That's the way you live your life. The only source of pride and hope you've been able to get your hands on until now, right? Come on, white flower. Answer me. I dare you.
わかりました。
She answers curtly. Her voice is half sullen, an impulsive resistance to my provocative implications. And it's half steeled, a show of courage mixed with pride and childishness. I turn and face this woman with her half-and-half expression. I drag her by her bandaged arm and head up the stairs. Thinking I might have to do some editing here. We'll see. I climb the narrow staircase up to the woman's room. Just as I expected, the room is gray and lacking any interesting features.
つまんねえ部屋だこと。しかし、そうか。あの明かりはあんたの部屋のものだったのか。そう上品ぶるなよ。あんた、ここから見てたんだろ。エミやシローが串刺しにされるのも、体中食い荒らされるのも、ゴムまりみたいな生首になっちまったのも。それを全部見下ろしながら、勝手に何を思っていた。何もしてない、なんてことはねえよな。何しろ、俺が死ぬ時は周りは悪魔だらけなんだからよ。
何が言いたいのです？
Her voice is hoarse. I just took one step towards her and she's already like this, huh? She sounds like she's dying of a fever. She can't afford to speak, but she interjects anyway.
別にあんたが低粛なシスターでないことは聞いてるんだ。非難してるわけじゃない。ただ事実を言ってるだけ。あんたはここからいつも殺される生贄を見て一人で盛り上がってたんだろ。
あなたは。
Her face, which had been pointed at the floor, turns to face mine. Is this shame or anger? The woman glares at me red-faced, looking as if she's about to cry. Not caring, I reach for her. We're close enough to touch already. Those robes are dampening my spirits a bit. They're just not very arousing, and more importantly, there's a nauseating stench of divinity about them. I'm beyond caring at this point.
いえ、エミやシロン、あなたは。
The golden eyes show fear. After sacrificing herself to others a countless number of times, what has this woman to fear now?
適当にやりゃ気が済む。あんた、わかりましたって言ったよな。今さらおじけづいたか？
There's no objection. The woman does not oppose. My face itches with irritation. I scrape hard at my cheekbones with my nails, and stare straight at the offering before me. First, I take hold of her arm. I forcibly pull the woman against my chest.
今のあなただと私の体が。
Give in and murder me, huh? I don't care about that right now. If you're going to kill me, then kill me. If I'm going to die, then I'll die. I'm fine with it.
いいさ。来るもの拒まずなんだろ？俺も同じだよ。似た者同士、最後に相手をしてもらうぜ。
Must be because we're so close. I can feel her breathing go into disarray in an instant. Her legs kick the floor. I don't care, as if she'd ever overpower me. I put my strength into my arms and get closer to the beat. It's more grappling than embracing. Really wondering how this is going to work. I grab her struggling arms, hold her body in place, bring my face to the nape of her pale neck, and with my fangs, with my sharp canine teeth, I pierce the white flower's throat. I bite into the woman's neck and feed directly off her soul. Without even consciously trying, I can feel the magical energy flowing in through the fangs biting her flesh. The feeling of her body in my arms isn't half bad either. They both suit me just fine. Resistance and shame is mixed in with the woman's breathing. It's quite a girlish response, but that's not what I'm after. All I want is her magical energy, and that's the only reason. All I want is her despair, and I want to break her for no reason. It's fine either way. It's time to feast upon the prey before my eyes. I don't loosen my grip on her. I insert my fangs like a red-hot blade to dissolve her from the inside. I make direct contact with her soul and forcibly make her supply me with magical energy, or simply plunder it. A normal human would be drained dry by this point. But just as I'd expect, she's gotten away with only labored breathing so far. Even though the agony she's experiencing is easily enough to kill her. Quite the self-sacrifice. Pained breathing. Her throat twitches. Unaffected, I toy with the woman and drain her. Through the fangs applied to her skin, I endlessly drink her magical energy and take it into me. Physically, at least, it's an embrace. But there's nothing there. Nothing. Not love, nor anything else. At most, there is hunger and self-sacrifice. My function's to take in magical energy and her readiness to deliver it. It is simply an act to expose this woman, a pact to force her into submission. To a demon, a kiss is that kind of thing. To drag out her soul. Not to switch it out, but to stain completely. An act of beginning with the desire to destroy that human being. In the case of a creature who knows only hate, I guess you could call it lust.
分かっていますね。私たちは
Oh right, this part isn't voiced. It's not in the Vita version.
こうして
And I'm definitely not going to voice it. I'll just read it instead. The woman stirs slightly. I mean, I'll read the narration. Not in self-defense. Just getting close to her is dangerous. If we touch each other this much, the woman will be unable to hold back and might pierce my body clean through.
我慢しろ。盛りのついた猫じゃあるまいし、勝手に。
Oh, I turned the volume down so I couldn't hear it. I part my fangs from her neck only slightly and speak. It's a waste of time. Mid-sentence, my fangs push against her porcelain skin, and I put my weight into my jaw and bite. The woman seems to be restraining her body with all her might. Making no effort to resist my act, she grits her teeth in pain. My mind fills with violent emotion. All the human reasoning I've managed to keep together until now is collapsing. Just as this woman holds back the effects of possession, I'm stopping my mind from crumbling altogether. The woman's problem is simply her body. On my end, the issue is my troublesome heart. She's only concerned with the transfiguration of her body. The fact that the depths of her soul are being infringed doesn't seem to bother her at all. Like a woman being sacrificed, complying with all desires.
体が弾けるかいいさ我慢比べだどっちが先に壊れるかも面白い
Pisses me off that I'm the one to say it. My brain feels like it would crack at the hatred and impulse. She says I can mess her up. I shall grant that wish. The trembling woman's voice gets louder. Perhaps enduring the pain of being ripped from the inside, or maybe fearing the terror being introduced from the outside. There's no point in guessing. Regardless of which it is, the agony will only intensify. If we were both normal human beings, I could give her some relief with my arms around her back, for instance, or my fingertips. If we were both normal human beings. We are different. I am different. When it comes to things that humans are capable of, I can create the illusion through the shell I wear, but that is all. Seems like her breaths are filled with passion. The woman's body is heating up. Normally, having this much magical energy siphoned away would be lethal, so maybe her body is showing some symptoms. The breathing that echoes in the stone room is filled with pain. Even having no voice, it pleads, "Please stop," to the observer. She stops at the plea, the fear in her throat, and gazes at the sinner before her, as if to indicate she's lived like this time and time again until now. Her eyes turn to me. Her hot breath is close, and our gazes intermingle for a brief moment.
冷たいこうも触れているのにあなたは痛くて冷たいです
The more severe the pain becomes, the more strength the woman gains to refuse me. Under the surface, this power relationship is backwards. This woman only needs to stop trying to endure the suffering. Then I would probably be skewered as usual and she wouldn't be devoured any more than this. Yet she sees to endure the agony to the end. Karen does not refuse. As if praying, "You are the one who's suffering." This still white flower sees to throw herself onto the pyres like a saint. I laugh. How could I not laugh?
今首に何を
I put my strength into my snapping jaws and snake my tongue along her skin. This is the best way to check the flavor. I smell blood. I bite into her once again, being sure to make it hurt. I lessen the magical energy consumption process and dig my teeth in deeper on purpose. She grits her teeth and withstands the pain. The body in my arms leaning into me feels so hot it's like it's going to melt me. How unbelievably warm. Though it should be no different from a dead body, this is almost like... You nasty woman. You're like the flames of hell. I tremble from my core. This fine meat is fitting to be skewered. I hold her tightly. I put my weight into my arms, holding the woman up so my fangs can sink in deeper. I don't care about the woman's body. My knife-sharp canine teeth suck up the magical energy from deep within her in one gulp. Though breathing heavily, she holds it back and speaks. But there's no reason for me to wait. You've already accepted it. If you don't like it, then just let it go. You could kill me at any time. If it's unbearable, you should just hurry up and expose your body so you can relax.
あなたを受け入れるのはいいのですけど
Disordered breathing. In a thin voice, she can't bear it anymore. Like she can't bear it anymore.
少し強くてこんなに痛いなんて思ってなくて
She's not too pleased with my fangs, apparently. The fire is lit. That just has the opposite effect.
お願いします少しだけ抑えてエミやシロ
As I said, I don't care. I just want this woman. To think of anything else is a pain. Paying no heed, I devour the magical energy from the nape of her neck. A denying spasm of muscle. The woman arches sharply like a bow, as if having been shocked. I keep swallowing down the magical energy. If the means is already there, all that's left is to keep on feeding. Neither technique nor breathing required. I just pierced her overly soft defenses by force. I don't feel satisfied from the intake of magical energy. The feast begins now. Just now. Only an unpleasant snapping sense of paralysis ran up the sides of my body. A stupefied voice. The woman's eyes meet mine in wonder. These eyes, in which your image is reflected.
あなたは大丈夫なの
What's that supposed to mean? I've never heard of anything like a tainted demon being turned into ashes for devouring a holy woman. Are you alright? That should be what I say when I'm done with you. You're the one who can kill first, you know. I tell her this with my eyes. How long are you going to keep acting scared? However it looks on the surface, you're still the one holding the reins here, not me.
いえ私は決して
She answers my gaze aloud. Seems she means to tell me she won't allow herself to be possessed. No matter how strong her will may be, though, her body is gradually turning into that of a soft, flappy woman. The woman fears surrendering herself to her impulses. Probably because if her reasoning becomes weak, she'll be possessed in no time. She bears the pain in reaction to having her body violated to stop herself from killing me. What stupid talk. Just let yourself go until your mind becomes blank and end it already.
まだ希望
The flesh of her limbs tears quietly. There's no way she wouldn't be suffering. Having this much magical energy sucked out of her must seriously hurt. A pained voice. Every time I hear this sound, the mass of mud swirling within me grows. It's frustrating. I don't know what it is annoying me. I sink my teeth into the flesh, urged on by the ooze, and then at that moment, an unbearable foreign impulse tears through. My fangs suck the magical energy from her neck. It's as if the magical energy is pure water flowing into my parched throat and body. Not bad. But her anguished cries grow deeper. My ears hear the woman's voice and the sound of flowing magical energy. At this rate, the woman's limbs will likely burst open sooner or later.
そう落ち着いて大丈夫私なら
unbearable. I want to kill. I want to break her to pieces. Irritated, I crushed that thought.
そうだ。頭に来るのは。
This sensation. The face of the one bearing this anguish. It could all end with a single thought. The woman was at her limit from the start. If I'm desiring her, she ought to just give. An act like this is nothing but pain. What purpose is there in taking it like this?
です。もっと思うままに私。
That's what annoys me. However she reacts to it is all the same to me. I laid my hands on her for the purpose of consuming her to begin with. But the woman has no fear. She just takes it in. Her soft reaction differs from submission. Instead of closing up, she wraps around me. Irritation becomes intense pain and destroys the woman's limbs. Woman's and my limbs. I lose strength. I suddenly stop caring about everything and my desire to prey on her magical energy halts to a standstill. I loosen my hold on her ever so slightly. The magical energy in the woman's feverish, earnestly resisting body feels like it's of the utmost quality. If I leave something like this uneaten, I'll never be able to eat anything again for the rest of my life. I separate my fangs from her neck and pull my body up. Really, I feel like throwing up. As the urge left in my core continues to smolder, I try to keep the welling malice down, not having been satisfied one bit.
エミやシロ、これで終わったのですか?
There's only relief. The woman is freed from her austerities and her ragged breaths begin to subside. That's fine. That's fine, so what am I doing? From the start, I only wanted to feed on this woman. I didn't care about her pain or anything. If the deed is now done, it should naturally have brought relief. So why?
よかった。なんとか。
I endured, is perhaps what she wanted to say. The woman, while still unable to move her limbs, scans her surroundings. I don't get it. Looking around restlessly with her golden eyes.
あなたは大丈夫でしたか?
She says out of concern for my insignificant body.
なんだよそりゃ。
It's pretty much like a bolt of lightning. It's kind of irritation that felt as if it could cleanly split you from the top of your head to the tip of your toes. Even while gritting my teeth, my chest is filled with the intense heat, putting me on the verge of vomiting.
だって気を使ってくれたから。私の体の痛みはあなたの体の痛みでもあります。私が憑依を抑えられたのもあなたがエミやシローとしての自分を。
The golden eyes look dimly in my direction. Those messed up eyes. Just like her limbs, they're wounded in losing their use. The reason the woman was frightened, was it simply because she was unable to see my appearance? That is the true nature of the woman before my eyes. The dedication to throw herself onto the pyres. The love for humanity that makes her care for others even after being abused. A white flower, flesh, a wetly glistening slug. There is no part of this woman that is beautiful.
なあ。体の方はこの辺りで限界か?
My cheek is itchy. I scratch the cheekbone with my fingernails.
はい。これ以上は耐えられなかったと思いますから。あなたをここで貫いてしまわないで。
That's too late. She should have pierced through me before I noticed.
悪いな。本番はここからだ。さっきまでのはエミやシローとしての情欲でさ。
I rake my nails along my cheekbone as if to peel off skin. Rather than violating the rules, this is more like abandoning the game. Just for now, I shall deny all that I am. The woman's body springs up. Just being close to a demon makes the body fall into possessed state and begin to tremble. A different kind of fear. Finally, she fears not only for others, but also herself. I grab the woman's body. Unlike before, her fear now extends to her body. I wrap my arms tightly around her pale back without restraint.
どうしてこんなことしたらあなたは
人のことよりてめえの心配だろ。こっからはさっきとは話が違う。途中であんたで亡くなるのはなしだ。せいぜい死ぬまで。
You should try to keep your gorgeous figure.
引きずられておかしくなる。殺しちゃう。早く話して。
The body becomes stiff, but I don't care. I bring my fangs to her slender nape once again.
ダメ。もう。
Electricity runs through. It's not the stimulus from her magical energy being siphoned into me. Just now is the severing pain of the woman eliminating part of my body.
ちょっと、それぐらいじゃねえと。
The stimulus won't be enough. I expose the woman she takes a part of my body through her demonic possession. We're trying to destroy each other. The only question is whether the insides will disappear or just overflow. Take as much as you like. As long as you don't take so much that you lose your figure, that's fine by me. Her breathing is in disarray, and so is mine. Sparks fly inside of my brain. The more magical energy I draw in, the more cracks appear in my skull. Every part of me that touches the woman's body is being torn apart.
私の体バラバラに。
There's only pain. This should be a replenishment of my magical energy, but it's not sufficient. Doesn't matter. As long as you're stimulating my mind, anything's fine. Guided by the woman's breaths, pain distorts my eyes. I want to hear it more. The screams are so good I can hardly stand it. The mincing pain is excruciating, and I don't even think to stop the saliva from pouring forth.
お願いだから意識が隠れて知らないこんなの知らない。
The plea has an opposite effect. Each time, why, I hear the woman's screams, why, I want to indulge deeper in her magical energy and, at this rate, tear her to pieces. The white flower struggles with agony in my embrace. The woman suffers, shakes her head while refusing, and places her hands on my chest as if responding.
お前内側からかじられていく痛い。
The balance starts to collapse. What used to be nothing but pain now has another sensation mixed in. The white flower is now red hot. The sensations flowing along our sweat go on without end, satisfying us both. Through something that isn't fear, the woman continues to suppress the evil spirit. The woman squirms at the sensation of having her magical energy wrung out. The feelings of my canines piercing her, the intensity of my feasting on her magical energy, causes her to moan sweetly.
聞いてもう少しだけなら我慢できるから。
The numbing sensation. The surge of magical energy rushing out in sync with the woman's reactions. Altogether different from the first time. I'm breaking into a grin. It would be no fun if it wasn't like this. To hell with being wrapped in an embrace. I only want the screams. If it weren't a struggle for life, it wouldn't satisfy my sadism. It feels like fangs could grow in from this pleasure. She trembles at the sensation of my piercing teeth, expanding and contracting as she presents me with her magical energy. It tries to escape at the same time. Each time my body melts. With each gulp of magical energy, the woman stirs. Each movement of muscle. It's becoming harder and harder to recognize the pain. All that's keeping me moving is the desire to taste this woman. Who cares? If I could stop, then I wouldn't have stopped. And for starters,
何を言う悪魔払い。怪物にたかられるってのはこういうことだろう。
I push my fangs even deeper into her neck. I tremble at her resistance. I let out the seething hatred and dig in my nails. I don't know whether I'm embracing her or trying to crush the flower. I can see the markings on his skin too, that. I entrust everything to my warping senses and devour her magical energy. All of the sensations surrounding me melt away like a song. Oh, there he is. There's no more pain. Nothing at all. I pierce her with my fangs over and over. She must have reached her limit. Rather than reacting to being possessed, the woman responds solely to the sense of pain mixed in with something else. I swallow the massive magical energy with a gulp. The woman stiffens her body to withstand all the sensations. I swallow and swallow. I can feel the fragments of her soul rushing through my body. How convenient. It's a matter of one or two hands transforming, I'll just rip them off and swallow them right then and there. If her insides leap out from her abdomen, I'll stick my face in there and devour it, keeping her human form. Her body is on the brink of collapse. But even before the changes from the inside come, she's attacked by fangs from the outside. I can't suppress it. I can't suppress this mysterious impulse. I open my mouth ready to devour not just her magical energy, but her flesh. Fascinatingly enough, being startled has brought me back to my senses.
畜生。
I realized it at the last moment. This counts for nothing. It was just supposed to be a whim, but I truly wanted this woman. That's not a sentiment I can share. Both of us are touching each other now, but our feelings differ. An interlocking sensation. One similar to love, but which cannot be the same. The woman is already at her limit. I'm already at my limit. Finally, my atrocious hunger for her magical energy has seen the end. My fangs pierce her neck one final time to drink the final mouthful. It streams and spills. The woman's last remaining magical energy, her life itself, begins to flow into me. But I pull away from the woman's body before I have a chance to swallow it. That's fine. This woman has a greater role to fulfill. I can't consume her here. It's all so foolish. I had conveniently forgotten something that should have been realized at the start. Is there nothing you find beautiful? Of course. No matter what, I must not be captivated by anything. Because once I feel affection, I can do nothing more than kill. The temperature drops. Having fed, I hurry to rebuild my broken shell. Thankfully, I had not gone all the way, so repair should be complete soon. She seems to have avoided any fatal damage as well, and is looking at me with her usual sullenness.
一応言い訳として聞いておきますが、一体どういうつもりだったのです？
別にただの気まぐれで他意はない。やることはやったし、あとはとっとと帰るだけだ。
That's one hell of a murderous intent. The sort of glare that would likely result in me being stabbed if there were any sharp objects nearby. Thus, it would be best to leave as quickly as possible.
ま、犬に噛まれたとでも思って諦めな。どのみちこれで最後だ。もうこれ以上はあんたに関わらないから、手切れ金とでも思えばいい。
I leave the stone chamber. I retreat before having my true colors revealed any further.
待ちなさい。言い訳にもなってません。質問を変えます。あなたはどうして止めたのです？私はあのまま食い尽くされると思ったのですが。
そんなことが？でも申し訳ない。前後不覚だったんで覚えてません。
最悪の回避法ですね。あなたに質問した私はあまりにも愚かでした。
The woman lets me pass, clearly not in the mood to ever see me again. Now then, before her mind changes and I get punished so as not to run into her ever again, I depart.
あ、でもさ、そういうあんたの方こそどういうつもりだったんだ？
A simple question.
別に。
A quiet reply. I force my suddenly heavy legs to move and go towards the stairs. This is the end of our final chance meeting.
じゃあな、いい具合だったぜ。
それはどうも。悔い改めなさい。けだもの。
With that, the guidepost upon the earth disappears. No more will I, the regular visitor, appear here again. Well, that was one hell of a scene. I thought that was going to turn into a sex scene or something, so I was worried about having to edit it out. Alright then, that was, something. Let's see, any hints about what I should be doing now? Because I'm still missing something. Just want to see if there's anything new that pops up. Or if maybe that was it. I guess that was it. Alright. So I guess in the next one, which might end up being the finale, we'll try heading over to the Black Grail, or towards the Black Moon once again. See what happens. I'll see you all then. Bye.